Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to LIRA in Law, and thank you very much for joining me for our usual Thursday get-together between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. Ako pong host nyo, ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simong Kabatbat. Broadcasting live as usual from London, England. No, I'm a practicing solicitor of 33 years. I had to think then. 33 years post-qualification experience. Soon to be 34, early next year nga. I'm the principal of Douglas Simon Solicitors. We are a firm of solicitors nga in London. We're based in Richmond, yung dulo ng district line. Our office has been established for 28 years. Nearly 3 decades. So we've been in law for a long time. Now, as usual po, ang pag-uusapan natin are legal issues that, of course, concern you. With always, where I can, practical tips nga, as much as I can provide. Now, beware, all cases po are of course, different. So if you are at all unsure, best to seek independent legal advice. Really, nothing beats that. No, I will always try to be of assistance nga, but talaga, kung ako kayo, I would definitely seek independent legal advice. And you can do this, no, by having, say, a fixed fee interview, no? So alam nyo kung magkano nga kailangan yung bayaran for that time. So maybe the solicitor can guide you nga as to which way to go, especially kung komplikadong kaso nyo. So but tonight, of course, as usual nga, topics have come from you, no? And we have a great topic. Actually, we have great topics, no? Dahil ang dami nating ang pag-uusapan. Great questions as usual. So going from we get marriage in the UK, divorce in the United Kingdom, change of name, breakdown of marriage. So actually, the theme, I suppose, today, from all the questions, is to do with relationships, no, marital relationships nga, which is just coincidental. So dahil galing nga sa inyo. So all the questions predominantly are asking about marital relationship. I don't really know why. Maybe dahil nga it's nearly Christmas. Maybe, you know, it's kind of you thinking about your relationship a bit more, o kung hindi nga magandang relasyon nyo, maybe you're thinking about, again, your relationship a bit more. I mean, Christmas is actually quite a time of year when people kind of reflect. You know? So maybe I shouldn't be surprised. But of course, no, of course, but in this case, they all have some immigration twist nga. So yung pag-uusapan po natin. So ang topic po natin nga ngayon, which of course has come from your questions nga, is can I marry in the United Kingdom? No, part one. No, that because the process nga, or the issues are so vast that I do think we need 2 shows to do it. So part 1 nga ngayon, next week po yung part 2, yung to do with process in marrying in the UK. But let me just read to you yung question po natin, no? So let me just have a look. Let me just bring it up yung question nga natin about to do, sorry, ito. Now, so sabi niya dito, this from one of our viewers, I've been separated from my Filipino husband for 5 years, but still use his surname on my legal documents. I'm now pregnant with my foreign partner. And we can't marry yet due to my civil status, because of course kasal nga siya pa rin, no, sa atin. If I register my child's birth here in the UK, will my ex's surname appear as the baby's middle name? No, you can this is the reason why I chose this, because it's actually peculiar to us, no, tayong mga Pinoy, because of the way we form our names, no. I'm processing a UK divorce, sabi niya, no, but not sure if it's valid in the Philippines. Again, a big topic. Can I change my surname through deed poll instead? Any advice? Brilliant question, because it deals with marriage in the Philippines, getting rid of that, marrying in the United Kingdom, what happens with the child, changing name. It's all in there, you know. And this is why I like taking topics from you, because it's very relevant, it's very practical, and obviously it's something that concerns you. Hindi nga lang siya. I'm sure, because I know I've advised clients actually with very, very similar, I mean, all facts always differ, but very, very similar issues nga, no? And so yung topic nga natin, and I've tried to condense that with a fairly short topic of can I marry in the United Kingdom, but actually it's quite more involved than that. So yung pag-uusapan po natin nga ngayon. And there are, of course, other questions, and we're also going to deal with those questions. So thank you very much for the viewer who put who sent in, no, taking the time sent in this question, because it's brilliant, because it, as I say, it deals with a whole gambit of issues that clearly affect people nga in the UK, and what I'm going to try and do nga is at least to deal with it as much as I can. So if you are minded to send in your questions nga pa rin, do so. No, it's not too late. But if it's too late and you want to think about it, send it certainly by next week. because like now, pag-uusapan natin, we're going to unpack and deal with, hopefully nga in detail, itong our viewers' questions. So hopefully that's going to help not just our viewer, but also other people nga. Now, but before we do, we're going to take a quick break. Balik tayo, and then we're going to launch into our great, challenging topic. So saglit nga lang po. I'll be right back. Welcome back, Paul. Welcome back again to LIRA in Law. Thank you very much for joining me on this cold winter evening for our usual Thursday get together. No, ang pangalan ko po, I'm your host, Lira Simon Kapatbat. I am a solicitor in the UK of not quite 40 years, but nearly 40 years in law, and certainly 34 years nearly post-qualification experience. So hindi pa kasama yung pag-aaral ko, pagte-training ko. So I've been doing this a while now. Now, as I said, topic po natin, if you caught the first bit nga, ang topic po natin is great because it deals with everything. But I've kind of summarized it in a very short topic, which is, can I marry in the United Kingdom? But alam nyo, because our viewer very kindly put forward her question nga, and sabi nga niya, her facts are, she's married in the Philippines. So kasal siya sa atin, can she divorce in the UK? No? Is that going to be valid in the Philippines? Is it going to be valid in the UK? Can she remarry in the UK? No? She's pregnant. So pagka nanganak siya, anong pangalan bibigay niya sa anak niya? Is it like us? So alam niyo naman, pangalan ko, Lira Simon Kapatbat. So of course, Lira is my first name. No? Simon po ang apelyido ng nanay ko, Kabatbat ang pangalan ng tatay ko. And that's usually how we work, as you know. No? So we take our mother's maiden name, and then pangalan ng tatay natin, yung apelyido. Pagka kinasal tayo, no? Normally what happens is the mother's name falls away, and then the father's name becomes the middle name. No? Now, so tanong niya, what would happen now? So ang middle name ng baby niya, baka yung bang ex niya, which would be a bit bizarre. So we're also going to deal with that. Actually, it's not. It's a question that I was asked siguro a while ago. But it's actually peculiar, I think, to us, no? Tayong mga Pinoy. So pag-usapan din natin yun. So baby niya, is the middle name going to be Filipino style? So pangalan ng dati niyang asawa. Can she change her name? No? Again, a practical issue. Dahil kung papalitan niyang pangalan niya, yung passport niya, mapapalitan ba? No? Kung hindi niya mapapalitan yung passport niya, so yung passport niya, yung pangalan pa rin ng dati niyang asawa, ano mangyayari? No? Dahil may mga dokumento na ibang pangalan. And when she remarries, no, if she can do that, ano na mangyayari? Dahil ibang ang passport niya, ibang pangalan passport niya. So there's potential for a lot of confusion, and there's potential certainly for a legal mess. No? So it's something actually that is readily encountered by kababayan natin. So this is a great question. So let's go into it. Let's unpack it. Let's deal with it. So, una nga, kasal siya sa atin. No? Now, can she divorce in the United Kingdom? The answer is probably. The reason I say probably is you need to be able to get the courts to look at your divorce, for them to have the power to look at your divorce. Kailangan yung pakita that they have the jurisdiction to do so. And when would they have jurisdiction to do so? And they would only have jurisdiction if you have what's called either habitual residence in the UK or you're domiciled in the United Kingdom. Now, habitual residence is not dependent on the type of visa you have. So, for example, siya nga, no, nandito siya, it could be that hindi pa nga din siya, hindi pa siya indefinite dito, but it doesn't even matter. Kung indefinite siya o hindi, so indefinite leave to remain, settled status dito, o kung Briton siya o hindi, no, it's very likely that the court will have jurisdiction because she would be what's called habitually resident in the UK. No? Dahil nandito nga yung partner niya, dito siya siguro nagtatrabaho, dito na nga siya nakatira, no? I mean, of course, it could be that she has also indefinite leave to remain. But even if she does not have indefinite leave to remain, it's actually one of the questions nga also was posed by another viewer. Kahit nga wala siyang indefinite leave to remain, it's still the case, probably, that she has habitual residence. So she was married in the UK. Can she divorce in the UK? So if she is habitually resident in the United Kingdom, dahil dito na siya nakatira, dito ng buhay niya, then the court will have the power to look at divorce kahit nga Pinoy siya. No? Kahit nga din na kinasal siya sa atin. So, kahit nga din na nandun pa yung ex niya, yung asawa niya. No? Now, so she can petition for a divorce in the United Kingdom. Now, if that's then granted, and at the moment I don't see any reason why it would not be, unless the husband in the Philippines says no jurisdiction. But even if they do, then okay, it becomes a bit of a fight nga with jurisdiction. But more likely than not, the court will probably say no, we have jurisdiction to hear and consider a divorce in the United Kingdom because of the fact that the petitioner, no, the applicant is habitually resident in the United Kingdom. So they will probably have the power, which means that they can then look at the divorce and grant the divorce. So if you're divorced in the UK, kinasal siya sa atin, divorced in the United Kingdom, how does that then affect, say, jurisdiction in the Philippines, or indeed jurisdiction anywhere else? So the divorce in the UK will, as long as you follow all the proper process and you make the right application, or you make the application, you serve him, it's then maybe he even agrees, or if he does not agree, you follow the proper process to show the court that actually you've served him with the papers. So as long as the process is followed, the divorce, the final order, should be valid, not just in the UK, but also everywhere else, but not the Philippines. Okay? Importante po na alam nyo yan, no? Because in the Philippines, we don't recognize divorce, which means in the Philippines, you have this strange situation where in the Philippines, you are still married to your first husband, and the divorce is not recognized. And if the divorce is not recognized, then your second marriage, of course, is not recognized. It is strange, but it's a contradiction in jurisdiction, but it is what it is. Now, so it's you would then have you then faced with the issue that you are actually properly divorced in the UK, which means you can remarry in the United Kingdom. But oddly, that marriage nga, yung kasal mo nga dito, is not recognized in the Philippines. In the Philippines, you either will need to apply for its recognition, and not all marriages can be recognized nga in the Philippines, but some may well be. So you can apply either for its recognition nga, or you need to get an annulment. Alam nyo naman, if you've tried, annulment can be quite a long and arduous process nga sa atin, no? But some people do, go through annulment nga. But going back to our viewer's question nga, she was married in the Philippines. Can she divorce in the UK? Yes, probably, no? Dahil dito nga siya nakatira, nandito nga ang pamilya na nga niya, she's about to have a baby also. But it's simply just not going to be valid nga in the Philippines, likely, unless you can get it recognized. Now, on top of that, in next week, ang pag-uusapan natin, just because of time limits nga, limitation in time, next week, pag-usapan nga natin proseso. No? So what we're talking about now is what, if you like, the general principle. But next week, we're going to actually concentrate on what do you do? No? What's the process now for divorce? Now, second issue nga niya is she's pregnant. Okay, congratulations. Pero sabi nga niya, nakakalito nga, what she's pregnant, she will have a baby in the United Kingdom. Now, I know you have not you've not asked, but I will would if the father of your at the moment unborn child is say British or someone with indefinite leave to remain, okay, or settled status if EU nga, then when your child is born, because that's the father's status nga at the time, even though you may not have indefinite leave to remain yet yourself, okay, the child will be regarded as British, or born British nga, which is good news. So so you're pregnant now. When your baby's born, and this is why I like this question nga. When her baby's born, what would be the name? Ang mangyayari ba ang pangalan nung bata magiging yung ex niya, which would be a bit strange, no? So dito, the baby's name need not follow nga, no, the father's. So if you want, the baby can be under your name, but the baby can also have her father's name. So I just assume that you're going to have baby boy or baby girl. So ang pangalan niya would likely be his given name or her given name. So kung pangalan is Lira, it would be Lira. No, so kung ang asawa mo, kung gusto mong gamitin yung pangalan ng asawa mo, and of course then he agrees, sabihin natin ang pangalan niya ay Kabatbat, no? Then ang pangalan ng baby mo will be Lira Kabatbat. No? And you can also have a middle name if you want. It doesn't have to be your surname. It could also be dito. Usually when they say middle names, actually like a given name. No? So it could be that it would be let's use my name. It could be Lira. I don't know, Lira Maalala. No, Kabatbat. No. So you can actually give a different middle name. So I have some. It could be that it's pangalan ng nanay mo dati o pangalan mo, or in my case, of course, but because I followed, or my parents followed the traditional route. Ang buong pangalan Lira Simon Kababat, but it could be not Simon. It could be something else. No. So you don't need to do it Philippine style, is what I'm getting at. So it could be pangalan niya, your giving name. So it could be Lira. It could be middle name nga niya is I don't know, Sampagita, no? And last name niya, yung last name mo, last name ng tatay niya. Kahit hindi pa kayo kasal, no? So you don't have to follow the Philippine way of naming your child. No? So yun. Now, this part of the question is, can she change her name? No? Interesting, because yung nga ang pangalan niya, pagpasok dito, yung pangalan niya yung kasal siya. Mga dokumento niya, siguro passport, probably even bank account, national insurance, maybe even GP, no? Ang pangalan nga niya ay yung married name niya sa atin. Now, does she need to change her name? And can she even change her name? So let me take the second part first. Yes, you can change your name. No, that you can do. Sabi mo nga daw, can you change it by deed poll? Yes, you can do that, or you can change it by way of what's called statutory declaration, change of name deed. No, that's not actually so complex. So you can change your name in the UK now. And that would be valid. It's legally valid nga. But do you want to change your name though? Because of course, it's the passport issue, no? Now, I was actually advising a client on this not too long ago. So sabi niya, napunta na daw siya sa Philippine Embassy. Sabi nila, no, we can't change your name because kasal ka sa atin, kasal ka pa rin sa atin because they're going to apply the Philippine law, of course, that kahit nandito na nga siya nakatira. So, hindi nila pwedeng palitan yung passport niya unless it is unless the marriage in the Philippines is annulled or there's a recognition of the second marriage here. No? Pero hindi nila papalitan. Sabi nila, hindi daw pwede. Now, so sabi ko sa kanya, okay, kung ang passport mo is under your married name, your application for immigration, dahil hindi pa nga siya indefinite, yung application niya will probably need to be under the passport name because otherwise hindi magkatugma, no? And then you will be, your visa will be given under a different name, but you need your passport to travel. So the most practical way will likely be to make an application under the using the passport, even though yung pangalan mo doon ay yung ex mo. But at least then magkatugma nga yung visa mo at saka yung passport mo. Now, as regards other documents though, you don't have to follow that name. No? So sabihin natin, na-divorce nga siya, nagpakasal siya dito, iba ng pangalan, iba ng, yung ginagamit niya yung panibagong pangalan, yung pangalan ng second husband niya. You can do that. So for example, you can do that to open an account or change your account, your bank account into that name or into your single name, or indeed to change your NHS records nga, no? Or your tax documents. So ibig sabihin, ang pangalan mo sa passport mo, yung pa rin pangalan ng una mong asawa, pangalan mo sa everywhere else, either your maiden name or indeed your partner's name, your second husband's name. Now, yung nga lang, pagka nagpasok ka ng application sa home office, no, there's a section usually that says, have you ever been known by any other name? You need to declare it there, okay? So ang pangalan mong lalagay mo, your passport name, pero lalagay mo dun sa question na yon, have you ever been known by a different name? You then put down yung pangalan mong ginagamit nga dito, okay? And you will likely need to explain that also, you know? So if you are if you have a second marriage nga, then you put down your married name now, your current married name. But ang importante po that yung magkatugma nga yung visa mo at saka yung passport mo, because otherwise magulo nga, no? Now, the second question usually I get asked is, well, is this gonna be forever, no? So I can never get rid of my first husband's name. No, that's not actually correct necessarily. So sabihin natin indefinite ka na, no? Tapos gusto mo na magpasok ng British passport. When you apply for British passport, the application, the name you should put down, and so the passport, the name on the passport you would want is your actual name, yung ginagamit mo nga. So kung pangalan mo nga ngayon, yung pangalawang mong asawa, that's what you put forward. But bear in mind, they would want to see the old passports because they get quite upset, understandably, if people have different names. You would need to explain that, no? Now, you actually are in the Philippines, it's not, your divorce and subsequent marriage is not recognized, hence the name, hence the difference in name. But you will need to explain that. They will not accept just a kind of, well, if there's no explanation, they would want to know why it is that you're being known and you're making an application for a British passport under a different name. So there will need to be some explanation. But my experience is, as long as you can explain it, and they'll want to also see some evidence that that's indeed the case, no? So you may want to go on our on the Philippine Embassy website to actually explain that. You can also make references both to the the relevant statute sa atin. So you need to explain that. So it's not always a straightforward application. But that application, or that explanation, you need to submit with your application for naturalization So pagka magiging British ka na. Okay? So it's a strange position to be in. So going back to your question, no, should you change your name? I wouldn't necessarily change if I were you nga. Because when you change your name, you see in the declaration you say, and from now on I subscribe and will forever subscribe under my new name rather than my old name. But you can't really say that. Hindi naman tama, because you're actually still subscribing under your old name. Because you can't. You cannot do it because, of course, yung ang pangalan mo sa passport mo. So I wouldn't necessarily go with changing your name because it doesn't necessarily help you to try and get nga a new passport. Baka hindi ka bibigyan ng passport. You check it out with the embassy nga, but you will probably find that they will say, well, actually, no, the divorce is not recognized under Philippine law, which means you're stuck nga with your former name, no? So the often practical route would be you have that, you don't do a change of name deed for other documents, so you can still use now you're married, your second married name or indeed your maiden name, no? But whenever you apply for extension of your visa, you need to explain why there's a discrepancy that bank statements mo it's arriving under a different name, or indeed even other documents, as I say, doctors, GP registration, NHS, tax documents. So it may be that you will need to explain it because the Home Office will need to be satisfied that indeed you are the person who's making the application. So it raises a few complications, but it's better to explain it from the off, because later on, pagka magpapasok ng British passport application, you can also say that actually you have from so and so time subscribed under your new name. It's simply that your passport, because of requirements under Philippine law, had to be under this name. So yun ang payo ko sa'yo. I know it sounds complicated, but if you follow the process, hopefully it'll be okay. So I've seen worse. There are processes that you need to follow and to watch out for. What can you do? But at least you're doing it properly, and it's important you do it properly. Okay, don't just change your name. You don't just change your name just like that, because you will find, as I say, what you don't want is meron kang passport, ibang may visa ka, ibang pangalan mo sa visa, ibang pangalan sa passport, iba pang pangalan mo for the other documents. Maguguluhan. Best to do it properly. No? So I hope that makes sense. I hope so. But if you want me to elaborate a little bit more, happy so to do. And this situation, as I've said, is not uncommon. No? It's a very practical, relevant, real situation, because it's something I come across a lot. The only thing I don't come across a lot, and I'm not really sure why I don't come across it more often, is the question about the baby's name, which makes sense, no? So yeah, you don't have to follow the Philippine style, right? Anyway, so I hope that that's of help to you. And no, look, sharing is caring. Kung meron kayong mga kaibigan, kamag-anak nga that you think, oh, maybe this is something that would be helpful to them, send them our link, no? Because libre naman eh, so just send them our link. But I say again, with something like this, it just does not beat seeing someone on face-to-face and then giving them your full details, because it could be that some details that have not been privy to may actually make a difference to the advice the solicitor will provide you. So if in doubt, actually, even if you're not in doubt, seek independent advice. But anyway, hopefully this in the meantime gives you a starting point. I hope so anyway. Okay. Salamat po ulit for that viewer. It's a great question. And as I say, it's dictating not just 1 week, not just today, but next week. No, next week ang pag-uusapan din natin is to do with marrying in the UK process nga. No, because it's a question again that I'm asked a lot at the moment. It's probably that time of year, right? Now, thank you for putting up with me there. I do like the dealing with quite involved but very real, no questions nga. But I do tend to go on a bit because I enjoy it. So, speaking of enjoyment, we're now at the part of our show which my favorite, paborito ko, no? As you probably know, because I always say this because it's true. Batian section nga natin, no? I hope that we have some people who've said hello. Let me just have a look. Let me just check. I hope so. Anyway, tingnan mo, Miss Jones, you're number one tonight, no? A very cold, Miss Jones, a very cold Thursday evening, Attorney Lira, and all viewers, keep warm and enjoy the topic and learn. Salamat, madam. Miss Jones, I've known for decades, no, decades, literally decades. I know also for a fact that she dances very, very well, no? But she's, tama ka, Miss Jones, ang lamig nga, no? It's astonishingly cold at the moment. That this week, I mean, sabi nila, we've been warned that it's going to be cold, but I just didn't count, I must say, on how cold it has been. And I think the weather, maybe it's, I think the cold snap, the coldness, no, also affected the water issue nga, no, yesterday. Kahapon, I don't know, those of you who live in the Richmond area, or indeed Hampton, Twickenham, ganon, TW, no, kahapon, we didn't have water. Not having water when it's so cold and you want to take a warm shower or bath is not fun. Anyway, sorry, I digress, Miss Jones. Oh, Egay, the great guy from London, freezing Thursday to Attorney Lira and to the viewers. I work from home today. Oh, good, because it was so cold. And I'm taking care of Justin now. Justin is his little boy, no? Good news, Attorney Lira. Sabi niya, I'm now ambassador of grounding well. Oh, it's a bed sheet where you plug in an electric outlet to make you grounded. Oh, sounds interesting. It addresses insomnia and body pain. Oh, talaga. Used code, ang haba, Gardo Enriquez for 10% discount. Looking forward to lots of learning again and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Egay, the guy. I mean, it's no, Egg is great. Egg guy is he's too modest to so that's why he signs his name as Egg Guy, the guy. I call him Egg Guy, the great guy, because he is, no, he's always looking after his son. Lorna Diesta, oh, tama ka, madam. Sabi niya, very cold indeed. Oh, ang lamig nga, no? It's actually today, was it today? Yesterday? Kalimutan ko na. The days are flowing in to each other. We had snow, no, in London. It's yung nga lang by the time, I think it was yesterday, by the time it had fallen, it's all also melted. But ang lalaki, the flakes were huge. I actually thought we may get, in fact, a pile of snow. But no, we didn't get that. But I think it may well be, we may get snow this year. No? It's been so cold, astonishingly cold. But I hope you're inside, no? I'm going to have, I know I often talk about food because by the time we start at 7:30, no? Pagka alas 8 na, I get really hungry. You can probably tell because my mind, apart from, of course, yung topic nga natin, which is all encompassing yung mga topic nga natin. But on top of that, I get distracted by the thought of food. Mamaya, ang pagkain ko, just because I put it out already, I'm going to have chicken soup. I hope you're having something warm also, no? No, definitely not sandwiches today. Sometimes I have sandwich in the evening, but today, soup, chicken soup. Oh, Ronald Lisa Raspe. Hello, madam. Okay. Malamig na gabi po. You're so right. Attorney Lira, at sa lahat pong nanonood, stay safe and warm po sa ating lahat. Yeah, no, it's definitely not Philippine temperature, no? Mr. Raspe, it definitely is not. Actually, I had a client who arrived yesterday from the Philippines. I was so jealous. it's okay, Philippine weather is great, no? It's like, and I miss it more when it's so cold. Tonight, nga, it's so cold, no? But it's kind of nice. It's speaking of duvet, it's kind of nice to have uh big thick duvet. I have two duvets at the moment, and in the evening, to kind of just go under your duvet and fluff yourself up. It's great. So it's that's what I hope to do later on after I've had my chicken soup. So I hope that you too and enjoy your evening. Now let me just see if there are other greeters nga. Tingnan natin. Oh, let me just check. Otherwise, because we have so many other questions, no? Let me have a look. May. Hi, May. May Tigbao Vargas. Hello and good evening, Attorney Lira, and everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Madam. I hope that you're keeping well. Devon, no? Diba? Nasa Devon ka, no? It's a beautiful place in the summer, but I can imagine it's probably I've never been there in the winter. For obvious reasons, because I don't particularly want to be. I can imagine it's probably really cold in the winter. Tama ba? No? Yes, but she's in lovely neck of the woods. So sabi niya, happy Thursday po. And I say again, no, look, sharing is caring. No? So kung meron kayong kilala nga na you think would be helped by our show, you should share. No, now let me just see. I think that may be our last greeter nga for now. So let me just check. It could be. Oh, okay. Now, mustn't forget we have other questions nga. Tsaka ang dami pa. So let me just see if we can do that now. So let me have a look. Mga questions nga natin. We have a fair few. And again, they're big questions. So sabi niya dito, okay. Let me have a look. So I'm currently on a tier 2 working visa here in the UK, sabi niya. And my British live-in partner and I are planning to get married. I read that we need to give notice at least 29 days before the ceremony. We're planning to have the wedding at the registrar office to save money for a house. Great. I just want to ask if giving notice process includes an interview, or if it's mostly document submission, and if it's a difficult process. Do I also need to inform the Philippine Embassy that I'm getting married in the UK, and is that mandatory? What documents are needed to get married here? Do I have to inform the Home Office after we get married? Lastly, any tips to make the process easier and less stressful? Ooh, okay. Now, this is also, thank you very much for this question. No? Again, practical and relevant. No? And just to say, it's part and parcel of the topic also for next week. So we're going to go through the process. Yeah. But let's have a look at this. Let's unpack it, as I often say. So nandito siya. She's here on a tier 2 work visa. No? So hindi pa nga siya indefinite. No settlement status yet. So by the way, you can marry, as I've said before, you can marry even if you don't have indefinite leave to remain, or even if you're not British, or indeed even if you're an overstayer. No? You can even marry in the UK as long as nga dito ka nakatira. So now the second point is sabi niya, does the process include an interview? Yes. Okay, because they want to check when you register to marry nga, the registrar is obliged, it's part of their job nga, to check that it is indeed a genuine marriage you want to enter into. It's a genuine relationship nga. No? And so they will ask you questions. In fact, if they don't think that it's a genuine relationship, then they will not register you for marriage, but also they will likely inform the Home Office. Actually, in your case, the limited leave ka nga, no, you have tier 2 visa dito, they will still need to inform the Home Office. So in that case, it's actually not just 29 days. They will likely extend the notice period. Sasabihin nila yun sa iyo. But they will likely extend the notice period to up to 70 days. Okay? So allow for that to happen, because obviously that's quite a big difference, no? From 29 days to 70 days nga. That is despite the fact that may visa ka pa rin dito, or it's all your status is all perfectly fine, but they will say, because you have limited leave to remain, it doesn't matter that you have a tier 2 visa, it would still be 70 days. In that time, the Home Office can come back to you and they can say, no, we want to investigate this a bit more. We want for you to be interviewed. It's probably unlikely in your case, because they will probably just simply write to say that's fine, no? Or they may write before the 70 days, in which case you can get registered to be married sooner. Okay? But if it could even be that they don't write, sometimes that happens, no? In which case, still the 70 days may be imposed by the registrar, but you can then still get your date after the 70 days. So they will check, and they will tell you also, no, that they're obliged to tell the Home Office of the result of their interview with you. So the answer is yes, they will interview you. It doesn't have to be very long. Now, Philippine Embassy, do you need to tell them you intend to marry? I actually looked into this for you a little bit. So it doesn't look like you have to tell them that you intend to marry, but it seems that they want you to register the marriage, so after the event, with them. But you don't have to, it appears, tell them that you intend to do it. No? Now, documents to marry, anong kailangan yung pakita? So, unang-una nga, tatawag kayo. No? You need to make an appointment, as with most cases na nga, you need to make an appointment, and they will say to you also on the day, or they will probably email you also, anong kailangan yung dalhin. So, it would normally be the passport, yung passport mo. You probably have an e-visa, no? Now, and your e-visa, you need a share code, get a share code nga to prove that that's your visa nga, na meron kang visa. They'll probably want to also see evidence of where you live. So the easiest would be council tax bill, no? At saka yung partner mo, of course. So this goes both ways. They want to see evidence of where you live, as I say, evidence of status mo. Of course, kung yung partner mo is British, o sabi mo dito, British live-in, he also needs to bring his passport. But because you have limited leave to remain, they still need to inform the Home Office, and the 70 days will apply kahit nga British yung fiancé mo. So the documents, as I say, to show what your ID, best is passport nga, e-visa, yung share code nga, and evidence of residence. Now, I like this. Any tips, any tips to make the process easier and less stressful? Preparation. No? So, ang payo ko, ihanda nyo. No? So, evidence of your residence, best would be council tax, as I say. If you're paying council tax, you can also, of course, provide also bank statements, yung may address nga doon, maybe some GP letter. Kung ako kayo, I would put together, say, 3 documents, formal documents. They don't take mobile phone bills. No, I know that. A client of mine tried that. So they want something more formal nga. No? So that prepare it, and ihanda nyo before you have the meeting. Make also the book it as soon as you can, especially because you have potentially 7 days to bridge. Oh, sorry, 7 days, 70 days to bridge. Okay, so book it as soon as you can. That way you're not also rushing. And ang payo ko, I mean, this is just a practical tip, just because one of my clients sabi niya sa akin, it's not to do with marriage, but something else. Sabi niya, ang ginagawa niya, so he's not stressed immediately on the day. He actually puts together in a plastic cover all his documents ready on the table for the morning. He doesn't put it in his bag, so gusto niya makita na kompleto nga in the morning, because otherwise, sabi niya, if he puts it already in the bag, then he's thinking, oh, did I put everything in there? So it's a plastic kind of folder. Makikita niya doon kung anong nilagay niya, and then he just checks again in the morning and then puts it in his bag. So I think that's a good idea. It's the sort of thing I would do. So I kind of worry about, nakalimutan ko ba ito? No? So sometimes I prepare everything and it's already in my bag nga, and I don't doubt myself in the morning, or whenever you're going, no? But sabi nga niya, that's because he wants to check, yung nga. So it's a little practical tip to do anything really. I used to also do it for when I was taking exams a long, long, long time ago, no? I would have my pencil case. Ewan ko sa inyo, pencil case nga ganun. Anyway, I digress and I have other questions. So let's get, I hope that's of help nga to you, and good luck. Let me know what happens, yeah? Now, I'm sure I have other questions. Sorry, I was going on a bit too much. Now, so what our viewer then asks, I'm seeking help regarding my ILR, short for indefinite leave to remain, application under the EU settlement scheme. So EU, European Union, no? I'd appreciate any advice since my visa is expiring and I'm getting worried. I arrived in the UK on August 20, 2022, but my EBRP card was issued on 17 November 2020 and will expire on 18 November. We are now the 20th of November, so I hope you submit your application. Am I already eligible to apply for ILR? And do I need to take the Life in the UK or English test? Those two tests, the Life in the UK English test, normally you need for indefinite leave to remain. But if eligible, may I ask for the official link to start the ILR application and the list of requirements under the EU scheme? I can send you absolutely the link. Now, so una nga, pre-settled status siya. That just means that hindi pa siya indefinite, hindi pa siya settled status. It's called pre-settled status or settled status because it was granted under the EU settlement scheme. So bago tayo nag-Brexit, no? Now, usually it's 5 years from the date of entry, not the date of issue of the biometric residence card, no? Which means that it will be 5 years from the 20th of August 2020. I mean, November 2025 na nga tayo. So the answer is yes, you can. No? Now, today, as I say, is the 20th of November. So if you haven't submitted your application yet, you're already late. You must do that ASAP. No? Yung sabi mo dito, visa mo matatapos 18 November. Now, some good news is that you don't need the Life in the UK test or indeed even the English language ngayon to get settled status nga. But you will need it for naturalization. Okay? So pagka magpapasok ka ng application, if you are so looking to do it, for naturalization, i.e. a British passport in due course, then you will need the Life in the UK test in the English language. By the way, ang payo ko, if that's not something that you can apply for now, and you're looking to study for the English language nga, ang kunin nyo na yung B2 rather than B1 because that has changed for some already. So it's a higher level now, B2. But it could be that this type of application, it will also change to B2 from B1. I mean, the difference between B1 and B2 is actually quite substantial still. No, it's a harder test now, the B2. But if you can pass B1, likelihood is you should be okay for B2. The link that you are asking for is it's called www.gov.uk and then /settled-status-EU-citizens-family, right? And then the rest should come in. There's a bit more to it. And then /switch-from then pre-settled-status to settled status. But to be frank, kung ako kao, just Google it, no? EU settlement application, and make sure that it's the government website. It'll be fairly clear. It's the government website. It will start with yung www.gov.uk, no? So that you don't end up anywhere else. So yun. Good luck, and I hope you've already made your application. Now, let me just see. I'm sure there's some more questions nga dito. Okay. Right. So, sabi niya, I need advice po. Pwede po bang i-cancel ang visa ng asawa ko kung under FLR? FLR is further leave to remain pa lang siya. So, hindi pa siya indefinite, no? Ako pong main applicant under a work visa and we have a minor child. So, under 18 yung bata nila. Pagod na po ako sa sitwasyon namin. Palagi na lang kami nag-aaway dahil sa addiction niya sa gambling at alak. Terrible. Nagagalaw na po niya ang pera namin at halos wala nang natitira sa sahod niya. Wala na rin po kami po talaga kaming happiness sa marriage, no? Puro problema na lang. Gusto ko lang po sana siyang pauwiin sa Pilipinas. Kasi mas lalo na lang akong nahihirapan sa tuwing nag-aaway kami. Ano po kayang magandang gawin sa ganitong sitwasyon? Sa Pinas po kami kinasal. Oh, sama naman, no? Especially, I mean, Christmas is a difficult time po kung ganyan sitwasyon nyo. So I feel for you. I'm so sorry that you're going through that, no? So let's just backtrack a little bit. So dependent mo siya, no? Dependent siya, no? Ibig sabihin po, yung status niya is based on yours. So kung maghiwalay kayo, never mind divorce, no? Kahit kinasal nga kayo sa atin where there's no divorce, but you can still potentially divorce him here because you're habitually resident in the United Kingdom, probably, no? But even if you separate, no? Wala nga ang divorce, hindi mo siya i-divorce. That ibig sabihin, puputulin pa rin nila yung visa niya. They will curtail his leave to remain. Dahil hindi na nga kayo nagsasama. So ang status nga dyan dito is dependent on you. So ibig sabihin, kung putulin nga ang visa niya, which is likely to happen, no? Then he will need to make an application based on something else, maybe based on your minor child. But that, to some extent, is his problem. So if you're no longer together, so the first step nga is, do you still want to be together with him? Kung hindi, kung naghiwalay na nga kayo, you're actually obliged to tell the Home Office na naghiwalay na nga kayo. You can't just park it, no? You have to tell the Home Office nga na wala na nga kayo. And then the Home Office will likely then take action. But it's not even something that you can not tell the Home Office about because it is a material change. So yun. Yeah, it's yung tanong mo nga, no, ano po kaya ang magandang gawin sa ganitong sitwasyon? It very much depends on, kung wala na. It's probably good to speak with him once more, but you probably have done that. And sometimes, even with the best will in the world, it can't be salvaged. And it's a decision. It's a difficult decision for you to make. I'm so sorry, no. At saka may bata pa nga kayo. Good luck. Yeah, keep us informed. Now, I'm sure we have some more questions. So sandali nga ito. I'm planning to renew my Philippine passport soon, but my current surname still reflects my married name. Since I'm separated and processing UK divorce, should I renew my passport using my married surname or my maiden name? If I change it, will it affect my UK visa or future application? Now, as yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, no, this is an example really of a contradiction between the UK and the Philippines. Now, in the Philippines, they will not recognize your divorce. No? There are other things, other processes na kailangan that you would need to go through in order for it to be recognized there. And it's very likely, just at least this is something that my clients have told me, when they've gone to the embassy, they will likely say to you, you need to stick with your married name. They will not recognize the divorce nga. Now, you can divorce here, as I said earlier on, if you're habitually resident in the UK, which it seems you are, no? Which means you can also remarry in the UK. But what happens with your passport or visa? So, yung passport mo, visa mo, kailangan magkatugma, no? So, kung papalitan mo ang pangalan mo, even if you could do that, ibig sabihin, yung passport mo, iba yun sa visa mo. Actually, they won't even grant it because they want to know, they want to see the passport is actually the same as the visa grant. No? So yun. So you will probably need to apply using your passport name. And I say again, the section that says, are you known by any other name? Sabihin mo doon, yung panibagong pangalan, the married name. So they will grant your application essentially under your old married name, which will at least match nga your passport. You can change the other documents nga. So payslip mo, bank account mo, ganun, even the doctors, no? You can change those under your new married name. And when you apply for naturalization, then ang payo ko, use your new married name. But you need to explain why it is yung pangalan mo sa passport mong luma, that is the Philippine passport, is under a different name. Okay? Good luck. I know it sounds confusing, but it's actually, it's not as bad as it may sound initially. If it sounded confusing, replay me. Now, I hope that was of helping out to you. There's some greeters, no? Edgar Duway, magandang gabi, and he's giving me a little heart emoji, no? Sa inyong lahat, hello friends, please keep warm on this fine cold evening. Oh, sir, tama ka. It's so cold, no? It's a cuddle up evening, no? Diba? We love him. I love this picture of Mr. Duway. He looks very James Bond. Diba? No? Do you not agree? Miss Rafael. We love Miss Rafael. She hails from Wimbledon, iconic part of London. Hello, good evening, Attorney Lear, sabi niya. And happy Thursday, everyone. Oh, watching from Budapest. Wow! I have a cousin who's actually living in Budapest at the moment. She loves it there. Actually, I'm looking to visit her. I hope you're having a good time, no, Miss Rafael? Malamig ba sa Budapest ngayon? Probably about as cold as here, no? Probably. Well, I hope you have a great time. Safe travels. Keep warm. Okay, keep warm. Wherever you are, you should keep warm. Well, unless of course you're in the Philippines. And I know we have some viewers now from the Philippines. No? So it is cold. And on that note, I hope that you're going to keep warm and have some soup as I will be having. But thank you very much for keeping me company on this very, very cold evening, Thursday evening, our usual get-together nga. Next week, ang topic po natin, part 2, no? Can I marry in the United Kingdom? So if this is a problem that you have or an issue that you're thinking about, o kaya meron kayong mga kamag-anak, kaibigan, kapatid, no? O na itong problema nga nila, sharing is caring. So send them our link, no? Just leaves me really to say, salamat po sa inyong lahat. Salamat sa mga Facebook group for allowing us to post our contents on their pages nga. Remember, send your questions nga by next Wednesday, and I will, as I've done today, try and deal with them. And you never know, you may get chosen as a star question, some serious bragging rights. And on top of that, of course, we're going to be looking at your question in more detail. So I hope that's of help to you. Otherwise, just leaves me really to say thank you very much again for keeping me company. And I hope that you're going to keep warm. I'm going to now have my soup. And I hope that at the very least you have your cup of tea. No, gosh, that's terribly British. I hope you enjoy your cup of tea. So otherwise, good night, po, and I hope to see you same time, same place. Good night.